Hi, this is Russ Coltman with Wetsuit Survival. Today I'm going to talk about water. You know, there's an old saying that goes, you can survive like 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. That's a real generalization, but that's not always the case. The formula is a lot more complicated than that, based on your body size, your exertion level, what you're doing, what kind of work you're doing, how you're traveling, and then obviously the ambient environment. If you're in the desert, that's going to be a lot different than it is here today, which is a pretty spring day in the woods, and I'm not exerting myself a lot. So, but you do need water. You need to stay hydrated. If you don't, we've all been thirsty at some point, and maybe you feel a little tired. You're not just tired, you're dehydrated. Your performance suffers greatly when you're dehydrated. It also affects the body's ability to regulate its temperature. So that's important in a survival situation, whether you're too hot or too cold. So you've got to stay hydrated. A couple of words real quick on kind of some general rules of thumb. Don't ration your water. If you're thirsty, don't keep it in your canteen and save it for later. Go ahead and drink it now. You need that water on board now to perform at your peak level and make smart decisions if you're in a survival situation, regulate your body temperature, that type of thing. Get it on board now in your body, don't save it in your canteen. They have found people dead in the desert, very well-disciplined people, dead in the desert from dehydration with water in their canteen. So don't be that guy. Second of all, just kind of a rule of thumb, if you are thirsty and you start drinking, you're already behind the curve. So keep drinking before you get thirsty. You know, stay tanked up. How much water does a person need? Well, you know, back to that old rough formula. It depends on how much exertion you're doing, but the real general wide rule of thumb internationally is 2 to 4 liters or 2 to 4 quarts per person per day on average. Obviously, you're going to need a lot more if you're a bigger person, if you're exerting yourself, or if you're in the heat. So try to keep that water flowing. All right, so how do you do that? Well, you can see back here this beautiful mountain stream. It's clear, cold water. It's beautiful. Would I drink this in an emergency? Yeah, absolutely I would. With the understanding that, you know, in 8, 12, 24, 36 hours later, I may be suffering from a nasty gastrointestinal infection or a parasite of some kind. Hopefully I'll be, you know, somewhere there's more definitive medical care by then, and I'll be out of my jam. But if not, I'm going to be compromising my survivability quite a bit more by drinking this water. So recreationally, like out here in the woods how I am today, no, I would treat my water, absolutely, before I drank it. I know there's people that grew up out here and say, man, I used to play out in the woods, and I drank this water all the time, and it didn't affect me at all. My dog comes out here and drinks. Okay, well, my dog eats garbage, too, and dead animals, so that doesn't help me out a lot. So treat the water that you're going to drink if you're going to keep going in the woods. This isn't a gear video, so I'm not going to display a bunch of my gear. But I will tell you the 3 preferred methods for me that I use all the time when I'm in the woods or the wilderness, the jungle, the desert, whatever, to treat water. My number one go-to is the SteriPen Pro. I love that thing. It's bomb-proof. I've really kind of abused it and beaten it up over the years physically, but it keeps running. It works for me every single time. In the cold weather, the batteries run out a little bit faster than advertised. I've used it in frozen water before, like, you know, cut through ice on a lake to get to the water. I've used it in the jungle, I've used it in the desert, I've used it in the mountains. The thing always works. My second one is probably an MSR Sweetwater water filter. Basic, simple, proven design. It's been around a bunch of years. Gets the water clean, cleans out all the nasties, and makes it taste pretty decent as well. Whereas the SteriPen won't affect the taste, but it'll kill everything in it. My last one is the Katahdin little water tablets that come in individualized seal packages you can cut apart and store in all your gear and keep in different places, so you always have a couple water tablets. Those things take a little bit longer to work, but they kill everything in the water, but it takes about 4 hours, so you need to work that into your water plan. You know, keep some water for drinking, and then, you know, kind of be thinking ahead 4 hours of the next day, where am I going to get water, and start treating it and put it in my backpack, and so I can have some water for morning or whatever. So that's kind of it. You got to have water. Don't be fooled by water like this, which is beautiful, clean, clear water. It tastes great. Treat it first. Don't ration your water. Don't get behind the hydration curve. And above all else, have a great time in the woods and be safe. Once again, this is Russ Coltman from Wetsuit Survival.